We'll be the comeback kids, all of us, all of us. It's incredible what's going on. I'm very proud of the people of this country. We want to get our country back, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it soon.
That was President Trump yesterday issuing new coronavirus guidelines, or at least he will be later today, telling us that he would do so, looking to reopen the economy and get America's shuttered businesses back up and running. The president saying that the nation has passed the peak in the number of new infections. Joining us now is HUD Secretary and member of the coronavirus task team, Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Carson, great to have you here this morning. Mr. Secretary, if you could just give us your idea, and how are you advising the president on the best way to open the economy safely?
Well, what we have to recognize is that we had, going into this, an incredibly strong economy. And things are going very well. The fundamentals, the underlying structure of our economy is very solid and very strong. So what we want to do is we want to maintain that economy, bridge the gap, and that means that you're going to have to infuse some significant federal funds, but we want to keep things going so that once the virus problem has been eliminated, we can go back. And it doesn't mean that we have to wait until every vestige of the virus is gone. Common sense would dictate that if we wait until everything is gone, our economy will be gone also. So we have to recognize that obviously, there are benefits and risk in everything, and we have to weigh those things. And that's what a task force does. We look at all the different variables. We look at the medical variables. We look at the social variables, economic variables, and we try to give the president a kind of advice that would be beneficial in maintaining people's health, but also in maintaining, their lifestyle.
Dr. Carson, we hear similar sentiment from the president pointing out the robust economy that we started with before this shutdown had to happen. And over the last 4 weeks, as we just reported this morning, more than 5 million people last week alone filed for jobless benefits, more than 20 million Americans over the last 4 weeks. Is it reasonable to think that we can come to a point where we reopen the economy and all those jobs just come back? Or are you looking at a longer road ahead for that?
Yeah, they won't come back immediately, but they will spring back a lot faster than one might imagine. The last time we had a severe economic downturn back in 2008, that was on the back of a very weak economy. This is on the back of a very strong economy, and it wasn't caused by economic factors. It was caused by a virus, which will go away. This too will pass. So what we're talking about here is just maintaining the strong financial infrastructure and the economic infrastructure that already exists, and we can do that. And, it doesn't matter if it's 5 million or 10 million or 15 million. We're going to gradually get them all back to work, but we have to do it intelligently. We've learned things about this virus. We've learned things about its transmission. We will incorporate those things into the action plan for getting back to work.
Mr. Secretary, we appreciate you being here today. And when you talk about the economic pain people are feeling right now, there's that small business loan program, the Paycheck Protection Program that has been doling out billions of dollars. It's literally running out of cash in the next few hours. You've heard Republican leaders say they want $250 billion more. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats say they want to add money for states and hospitals. We had a Democrat on last hour, Max Rose, who said if his party adds Green New Deal items and other things, he's going to call them out because he seems frustrated that we're not moving forward. How do you get a deal to make sure you can help small businesses?
Well, I would suggest to the American people that they begin to make some noise. Make some noise to your representatives, be they Republicans or be they Democrats. Because this is not about Republicans and Democrats. This is about maintaining that strong economic infrastructure so that when the virus problem has resolved significantly, we can resume a strong economic position. And, you know, when people try to throw politics into it, it complicates the whole situation. I think the average American person understands that. I'm not sure the average politician understands that.
So, Mr. Secretary, let's get to your bailiwick, which is housing now. I know you're a doctor, and health is also part of your deep reservoir of knowledge, but home building in this country has simply collapsed. There's new numbers out today. Housing starts down 23%. If there is a so-called phase 4 of stimulus up there negotiated on Capitol Hill, what do you want in terms of mortgage relief? We have viewers who are wondering they can't pay their rent now. Right now, they can't pay their mortgages. What are you going to do about it?
Well, keep in mind that all the mortgages that are endorsed by FHA, you know, first of all, we've put a moratorium on foreclosures, on evictions, but also we have a partial claim, which means that payments that are missed can be grouped together into a sub-mortgage and tacked on to the end of the forward mortgage. You don't have to pay it until you finish paying the regular mortgage, and there's no interest involved. And so there's really no penalty for doing that. Those are the kinds of things that we're working on. Obviously, we want there to be money to help the servicers of these mortgages, because some of them don't have deep pockets, and we want to make sure that that whole structure is maintained. Yeah. The housing finance structure needs to be maintained. It's not just the people who took out the mortgage.
Mr. Secretary, in the 30 seconds or so that we have left, what do you think our new normal looks like when we come back from all this as a task force member, the HUD secretary, and a doctor?
Well, you know, it's not going to immediately be a situation where we have stadiums full of people. There's no question about that. Certainly not until we have a vaccine. But we will be able to, you know, do appropriate social distancing. People will have learned appropriate hygiene techniques, and most importantly, we'll have rapid testing available. So, you know, we're Americans. We adapt. You know, we're innovative. This too will pass. We will conquer this, and we will move forward.
Secretary Ben Carson, appreciate you coming on America's Newsroom this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Sandra.